Facebook Live challenge day. Is it 10 or 9 or 10? I think it's 10. Not about podcasting anymore. So I'm going to spend today talking about some other things I feel like are important that can hopefully find some benefit. Hopefully you guys will find some benefit. Some practices I've adopted and going to try to share. Some will be business related. Some of these are just going to be personal development related, and I figured that's where I was going to start. So been having some conversations with some other coaches and some other people struggling with sleep and some of that sort of thing, and trying to get some clarity and guidance on what they're trying to do. And so tomorrow I'm going to be presenting my 3 Habits in 30 Minutes. It's a podcast episode I did a while back, and I'm going to be talking about it again tomorrow. And it's all based on the concept of waking up 30 minutes earlier and taking care of these 3 simple habits before you start your day. But in order to do that, you need to be able to get the extra bit of sleep, and kind of backing into the morning, you need to make sure that going to bed at a decent time or trying to get to sleep. So I know that's something that I've struggled with and a lot of people struggle with. So I've got some principle that I would willing to throw out there. I'm going to throw out a 30-day challenge to you guys when it's all said and done. It's actually not even my challenge. It's a challenge that somebody else came up with. But so a lot of times, a lot of situations, everything's going well when you're like on track and you feel like you're getting things done and you're winding out your day and you're trying to go to bed a little bit earlier maybe, or trying to get into a better evening habits and then get to lay down, and of course you're staring at the ceiling and all the different things you got to get done the next day come creeping in, and all the frustrations, all the difficult situations that you're dealing with tend to surface right at that time. At least that happens for me, making it real difficult to go to sleep. So if and when that happens, one of the tools that I've come up, or I didn't come up with, it ain't my idea, lots of people do this, but it's very effective, is journaling. Journaling is going to be the theme for this Facebook Live for today. So there's mine right there. I got this from Barnes & Noble, I think it was. I've gone through a couple of these. But so journaling can take a couple different forms. It's not a diary. A lot of the conversations I was having one of the conversations I was having was someone was hung up on the concept because of looking at it as a diary. And while I do use my journal to put diary type entries in to recount things that happened to me in the day, or something, a good story or something like that, I use it for a lot more than just that. I use it for really anything. And quite honestly, the best thing to do is when you're getting ready for bed, trying to go ahead and get it out of your system. A lot of people I know also do it on the way home from work instead, like just getting a little bit of that stuff out of your mind before you go into family mode, before you walk in the door. That's a good way to kind of shift gears, I guess, if you will. And so the challenge that I have, or that I want to talk to you guys about, is a challenge that this guy, Alex Banyan, Banyan, I don't know how you say that, Banyan, or anyway, he wrote this really cool book called The Third Door, and I read it in like 24 hours. It was a really interesting book. But since then, and if you get an opportunity, that's a great book to go check out, by the way. But since then, he issued a 30-day challenge, and there's just 3 simple questions to answer at the end of each day. And if you've got a journal, even if you don't have a journal, a spiral notebook from your kids will do. I prefer something nice. Because to me, this is the most important book that you own. But it doesn't have to be anything special or fancy. I do think it should be in some kind of a notebook form so that you can continue to add to it as you go. But anyway, his 3 questions are: what filled me with enthusiasm today? What drained me of energy today? And what did I learn about myself today? So if you don't feel comfortable going in and doing a whole deconstructing your day, or writing this whole big journal entry, which can be really intimidating and overwhelming, and quite frankly not really sustainable, particularly at first, just answering those 3 questions. If you can take just less than 5 minutes really, and answer those 3 questions that I noticed when I did it for 30 days straight. And I did do it 30 days, each entry. It's not but a sentence or 2. There's not a tremendous amount of detail, but just being able to close out my day with that really helped. And so if you're struggling with sleep, or maybe struggling with a little bit of direction or goals, that sort of thing, journaling, it's a good way to go. On that note, I was supposed to start off presenting a podcast today, and I didn't do that. So I'll make sure that I start tomorrow's. Well, okay, I'll go ahead. 21st Man. It's a podcast. It's some dudes out of Jacksonville, Florida. Really top-notch guys, high-class individuals. If you're into this kind of stuff that I'm talking about, they're right in that same wheelhouse. So 21st Man, check out their podcast. And I should have done that at the beginning, so I apologize. So on that note, if journaling is something that you are interested in, like I said, I got this one. I really like these leather-bound, nicer quality books. One of the questions I always ask my guests is, what's the book that you've given away the most? Rather than what's your favorite book or what's the book that spoke to you as a child or whatever, what's the book that you've given away the most? And for me, I've given away a lot of books, and most of them haven't been read, probably. But the one book that I have given out far and away more than any other book is a journal, a blank journal. Not this one in particular. As a matter of fact, it's this one. I've actually got a bunch of these now because I give so many away. So if you're interested, I'm going to have these for sale for $20. That includes shipping. You can see they're pretty nice, high quality. Got a cool little thing in the back where you can add your little pen holder thing. This comes off obviously. So that's a great size. I found it really works well for me. These are really, and you can see it's about the size of my other one. So if you're interested in getting into journaling, or I'm not trying to sell you anything. There's plenty of different ways. Go find them. They're on Amazon. They're everywhere. But if you need one that's a good quality, good value, some of them get pretty pricey. I was able to get a really good deal on these. So if that's something that you're interested in, then check it out. So I'll have more on journaling later on. But in the meantime, if you want to know more about journaling, in the description, I tried to add a link to an episode I did with Benjamin Hardy. He wrote a really awesome blog post about journaling, and it's a little over the top, I'll warn you. It's not necessarily for everybody, but if you want to learn more about the journaling process and what it can do for you, I encourage you to check out that episode. Go to, I'm going to tell you, we're trying to launch a new website, so if you go to extraordinarypodcast.net and for some reason it's not up, it is right now, but that's subject to change as we try to launch the new website. You can always go to 8keystoGreat.net, and the podcast is there. And like I said, I've got a link to it in the description. I don't know if it works or not. First time I've done it. So if you do click on the link and it does work, let me know. So that way I'll know to keep doing that sort of thing. Tomorrow, 3 Habits in 30 Minutes, and I'll have a link to that podcast episode with a lot more detail. But we'll go from there. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you tomorrow.